Check, check. There we go. Hello and welcome to baseball. Bethel Park High School baseball. I'm here on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. My name is Nicholas Catless, and got WPIAL Consolation baseball to play between Peters Township and Bethel Park High School. Played at Ross Memorial Park. Some days played host to to Peters Township this season, but now Bethel Park is going to be home, being the higher seed in the bracket coming into this game. Bethel Park, the 3 seed in the WPIAL Class 5A bracket. Peters Township, number 7. Bethel Park made it through to the WPIAL semifinals, where it lost to Pine Richland 5-4 in a close game last week. Peters Township was the lowest remaining seed that made it to the WPIAL semifinals. Peters ended up losing last week to Shaler, the number 3 seed. And the championship scheduled for tonight, immediately following this game, over at EQT Park, home of the Washington Wild Things. So the Class 5A WPIAL champion will be decided tonight, along with who will be seeded 3rd and who will be seeded 4th. Both these teams are going to make it to the state tournament. It's just a matter of what seed each team is going to get. Whoever wins the WPIAL championship will be the 1 seed. Runner-up will be seeded 2nd for states, and then the winner of this game will be seeded 3rd. Loser will be seeded 4th. Starting lineups for Peters Township: batting first and catching, Zach Miner. Batting second and playing second base, James Tigard. Batting third, playing left field, Jackson Stoker. Batting fourth, playing first base, Brody Takis. Batting fifth, playing third, David Oberschelp. Batting sixth and playing right field is Reese Clark. Batting seventh in center field, Michael Alsbaugh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Colin Stofik. Batting ninth, doing the designated hitting, is Nathan Skrupa. And pitching, being DH'd for, is Jack Stewart. Matthew Hughes to pitch for Bethel Park. Lefty on lefty matchup. Matthew Hughes, the left-handed pitcher. Zach Miner, the leadoff hitter for Peters Township, is the left-handed hitter. First pitch of the game is called a strike. Counts 0-1. The broadcast today presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. From the windup, Matthew Hughes throws ball too low. Matthew Hughes getting the start for Bethel Park. Doesn't look like either team is using an abundance of resources. It's a pretty standard lineup for Bethel Park. A few switches for both Bethel Park and Peters Township, however. Strike 2 caught over the lower outside corner. Matthew Hughes, not typically a starting pitcher. He's done great out of the bullpen for Bethel Park this season. And ideally, Bethel Park using him to not tax any of the other pitchers that typically start as that pitch misses outside. Count even 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Nobody out, base is empty. Top of the first, Zach Miner, the first hitter, up to the plate for Peters Township in the entire ball game. With Bethel Park trying to rest its main starters to roll over into the state tournament whenever that begins. That one fouled back. A move that makes sense. Zach Miner still even in the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Matthew Hughes. Bethel Park's defense playing at standard depth, infield and outfield. 2-2 pitch, here it comes. Soft fly ball out toward left field. Eric Meal has a play, and about 7 feet from the left field line, he makes the catch. That is out number 1. One out now, top of the first. And here comes James Tigard. Second baseman and 2-hitter in the order. Right-handed hitter steps in. Close to the plate and furthest back in the box. First pitch to him. Ball. Too low and inside. 1 ball, no strike count. Starting defense for Bethel Park. Doing the catching, Ethan Stanoff. At first base, Noah Lejeune. At second, Nick Rillo. At shortstop, Ryan Petrus. At third base, Mike Bruckner. Check swing, but a ball that goes too low below the knees. And now the count's 2 balls, no strikes on James Tigard of Peters Township. On the left field, it's Eric Meal. In center, Jack Bruckner. And in right field, Joey Levis. 2-0 pitch right over the inside edge. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Bethel Park and Peters Township split the 2-game set played in the regular season. Fouled back. Counts even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bethel Park was close with a few teams in Class 5A Section 2. These two also are part of the same section. And Bethel Park was close with several teams, including Peters Township, until it had a surge and ended up sweeping Chartiers Valley and took a commanding lead. Ended up winning the section with a 9-3 section record. Breaking ball floated too high. That runs the count full on James Tiger. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, base is empty. Peters Township on offense. The pitch. Line drive out toward left center field. That's headed back toward the wall. Jack Bruckner can't get there, and it's going to one-hop the wall. Bruckner plays it, relays it into Ryan Petrus. James Tigard in at second base with a comfortable double, and he's aboard in scoring position with 1 out in the top of the first inning. Jackson Stoker comes to the plate now for Peters Township, left fielder, 3-hitter in the order. And he is a left-handed bat, so he's going to stand in from the left-handed batter's box. Facing the left-handed pitcher, Matthew Hughes. Zach Miner flew out to left field to open the ball game. Then James Tiger just hit that double. Sets up the middle of the order well for Peters Township to try to score. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball right over the middle. Stoker ducked out of the way a bit. That sharp break from Matthew Hughes, then just crossed right over the middle. Hughes steps off, steps back on. No ball, 1 strike count. Hughes taking a few seconds to get his sign. Now comes set at the belt. Big kick and pitch. Fastball too high and outside. Counts even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bethel Park, Peters Township, Upper St. Clair Trinity in that order. The qualifiers from Class 5A Section 2 that made it to the tournament. One pitch. Swing and a miss on an outside fastball. Counts now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Peters Township was the beneficiary of Mars, the 15 seed, beating number 2 seeded Plum in the first round. And Peters Township beat Mars last Monday to make it to the semifinals, where it lost to Shaler. 1-2 pitch coming to Jackson Stoker. Just a bit outside, well placed, but better discipline from Stoker, and the count evened up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner in scoring position at second base. It's James Tigard at second. Two ball, 2 strike count. Matthew Hughes comes set at the belt. Looks to second once. Now kicks his right leg and throws an off-speed pitch too high. Helmet level of Stoker, and the count's full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Matthew Hughes usually pitching out of the bullpen. It's also a rainy day. There's sprinkles of rain now coming down on the field, and very prominent overcast skies shrouding the ballpark here at Ross Memorial Park in Washington County. 3-2 pitch. Fastball too far outside. Ball 4, and Jackson Stoker walks, putting 2 runners on with 1 out. And here comes the cleanup hitter and first baseman, Brody Takis. Right-handed hitter, Takis stands in. Gets his sign, Matthew Hughes does, from Ethan Stanoff. And there's Hughes coming set, looking once to second base, now delivers. Pitch high, ball 1. This is an all-turf field as well at Ross Memorial Park. Slippery turf could make for some mistakes made by players in this game. Just rainy conditions, not the most ideal for baseball. Actually closer to the very least ideal, if you want to put it that way. 2 ball, no strike count now on Takis. Hughes sets, looks to second one time. Petrus creeps over. A second look, and now Hughes delivers. A fastball for a strike over the lower inside corner on the right-handed hitter Takis. Counts down 2 balls and 1 strike. .60 degrees with, well, right now 100% chance of light rain through the area, and rain expected until around 8 o'clock. That pitch misses below the knees of Takis. He's in hitter's count now, 3 balls and 1 strike, and that is now the 3rd consecutive hitter that Matthew Hughes has fallen behind against. 3rd consecutive 3-ball count. Zach Miner flew out to left field to open the game, and then Tiger doubled, Stoker walked. Now here's a 3-1 to Takis, and a big hack. Just took a big hack, almost guessing the pitch was outside. Takis swung through it very hard and missed. Counts full now, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and this is the 3rd consecutive full count that Matthew Hughes is now in against a hitter. Swing and a miss, off-speed pitch. Delivered to Brody Takis, and he strikes out swinging. Now there are 2 outs in the top of the 1st inning. Peters Township still with 2 on base. Now there's the number 5 hitter in the order, and 3rd baseman, right-handed hitter David Overschelp. Rain continues to fall almost straight down from the sky, and just a little sprinkle, nothing too heavy. No thunder or lightning, no indications of a storm. It's just rain right now. First pitch inside. Fastball misses for ball 1. The Bethel Park defense is very standard. Their lineup has shifted a bit, and we'll go over those distinct changes whenever Bethel Park comes up to hit. 1 ball, no strike count. Matthew Hughes comes set. Looks twice to second, and now a big kick and pitch. Pitch misses inside just a bit. Inside off the plate. Count is well in favor now of Overschelp. 2 balls, no strikes. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter. Infield playing back with 2 outs. The 2-0. Strike right over the middle. Counts 2 balls and 1 strike. Petrus holding on the runner at second, just creeping over there every once in a while, keeping Tigard from extending his lead too far. Tigard about a 7-foot lead off second base. 2-1 count. Here's the pitch from Hughes. Ball 3 misses outside. Just off the plate, counts 3 balls and 1 strike. This is the WPIAL 5A Consolation game. Winner gets seated 3rd in the PIAA bracket from Class 5A, and the loser will be seeded 4th. Both teams will make it to the state tournament, though. This is a game just for seeding. And the 3-1 misses low and inside, ball 4. Second walk for Matthew Hughes this inning. 3rd runner to reach. And now the bases are loaded for Peters Township. 2 outs. And here comes 6-hitter Reese Clark. Golden opportunity for Peters Township to score. When Peters Township hosted Bethel Park earlier on in the season here at Ross Memorial Park, Peters did come out with a win. Right now they've got a golden opportunity to score with the bases loaded, but there are 2 outs, and time called by Reese Clark, who steps out. Slick conditions at the ballpark and a cold day for the standards of summer. Just under 60 degrees in Washington, PA. Matthew Hughes comes set at the belt and now throws. Inside. Pitch misses for a ball. There's a brief stoppage in play. Ethan Stanoff did go out to talk to Matthew Hughes before Reese Clark stood in and got that first pitch. One ball, no strike pitch. Fly ball, straightaway center field. Jack Bruckner seems to have a routine play, running a bit toward the left center field gap, but has no problem securing the baseball. And that will end the top of the 1st inning. Peters Township, 1 hit, 2 walks, the bases left loaded, And after a half inning, it's Peters Township 0, Bethel Park coming to bat. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency.
Insurance Insurance Agency has been protecting families and businesses with reliable insurance solutions for years. Their dedicated team is committed to providing peace of mind and coverage tailored to meet your individual needs. From home and auto to life and commercial insurance, at Sharp Insurance, they're there to protect what matters most, with expertise and care every step of the way. This Bethel Park High School playoff game is presented by Sharp Insurance Agency.
You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This broadcast presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. It is the bottom of the first inning. Bethel Park stranded, the bases loaded. And now we get an opportunity to hit in the bottom of the first inning. Ryan Petrus bats first, playing shortstop. Ethan Stanoff batting second, doing the catching. Batting third, playing first base, Noah Lejeune. Batting fourth and third, Mike Bruckner. Batting fifth, the second baseman, Nick Rillo. Batting sixth and playing center field is Jack Bruckner. Owen White, designated hitting for Matthew Hughes, batting seventh. Eric Meal, playing left field, batting eighth. And Joey Levis is playing right field and batting ninth. Jack Stewart throwing pitches for Peters Township to start. And throws a pitch in there for strike one against Ryan Petrus. Righty-on-righty matchup. Third baseman playing in. That's Overshelp for Peters Township. And a fly ball. Hit out to straightaway left field. Back. Headed toward the wall. It is off the very top of the left field wall. Petrus comfortably gets into second base with a stand-up double to lead off Bethel Park's bottom of the first inning. Well, it's extra hard to hit the ball deep in conditions like this with the rain and storms, overcast skies, and cold temperatures, but Ryan Petrus sent that one deep out the left, and that was inches away from being over the wall. There's a yellow line on that left field fence, and it was just below that yellow line off the wall. Petrus halfway from a home run. He gets into second base with a double. In scoring position, nobody out, and here is Ethan Stanoff. Bunt shown, pulled back, ball one, and Petrus will get to third because the ball got past Zach Miner. The ball was too high. Zach Miner couldn't handle it. It got to the backstop, and Petrus took third easily. So he's at third with nobody out. Skies are brightening a bit, but still shaded by clouds and gray skies. Here's the 1-0. High and inside, but caught a strike. Counts even, 1 ball, 1 strike on Stanoff. One. Fly ball, more of a pop-up down the right side of the field, and that'll be foul out of play over the fence. And Stanoff falls behind the count now. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Peters Township lost to Shaler last Tuesday. Bethel Park lost to Pine Richland, both games in the semifinals of this WPIAL tournament. Breaking ball misses outside to Stanoff from Jack Stewart. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The championship for Class 5A in the WPIAL will be played across the street against, for Pine Richland and Shaler. Will play at EQT Park, home of the Washington Wild Things. Game scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight. Foul tip by Stanoff makes the count. Well, it's still 2 balls, 2 strikes. So the Bethel Park's lineup, a couple of small changes. Jack Bruckner has been moved up in the lineup. He's now batting 6th in the order. And Eric Meal has been slid down to 8th. Pitch misses outside just off the plate. Counts full, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ethan Stanoff. Owen White's been moved up to 7 in the order. Pitch, 3-2, misses outside for ball 4. Ethan Stanoff, who's showing bunt on the first pitch, pulls back for a ball. It was a wild pitch that let Ryan Petrus advance to third base, and then good discipline from Stanoff yields him a walk. Caden Stokes is going to courtesy run for him at first base. So it's Ryan Petrus on third, Caden Stokes on first. Nobody out, middle of the order coming up to the plate now. Noah Lejeune will bat with runners on the corners and nobody out for Bethel Park. Lejeune, through these later playoff games, has been playing first base more often. Owen White was typically the first baseman through the regular season, and Lejeune was the designated hitter. Slide step pitch is too low for a ball. 1 ball, no strike count. Then Owen White started as the pitcher against Thomas Jefferson in the quarterfinals of the WPIAL playoffs in Class 5A. So Lejeune played first, and he's been the first baseman ever since. For Bethel Park, just playing out there on defense instead of being the DH for the team. And that is no different in this game today. Pickoff attempt, Jack Stewart stepped back off the mound. It wasn't a pivot. It was a step off and then turn. No throw over to first base. Stewart back on the mound, comes set at the letters, and throws a pitch that hits Noah Lejeune, and he is granted first base. So Bethel Park with a golden opportunity to score. The bases are loaded. There's nobody out. It's the bottom of the first inning. Ryan Petrus is on third. Caden Stokes is on second. Noah Lejeune's on first. Takis, the first baseman, was playing in and now backs up. And now Overshelp, the third baseman, starts to creep in, playing in front of the third base bag. Jack Stewart steps off the mound. Time is called, and now Stewart and Minor are going to have a conversation on the mound. This is a righty-on-righty matchup. Mike Bruckner, the right-handed hitter, stands in against the right-handed pitcher, Jack Stewart. The pitch, breaking ball, strike over the outside edge. No ball, 1 strike count on the third baseman for Bethel Park, Mike Bruckner. Starting defense for Peters. Catching is Zach Minor. At first base, Brody Takis. At second, James Tigert. At third base, David Overshelp. At shortstop, Colin Stofik. Here's the 0-1. Outside ball 1. Out in left field, Jackson Stoker. In center field, Michael Ausbaugh. And in right field, Reese Clark. One. Ball spit off the plate outside. And perhaps low as well. Counts 2 balls and 1 strike on Mike Bruckner, Bethel Park's cleanup hitter, third baseman, and batting with the bases loaded, nobody out. Jack Stewart comes set and delivers. Ball too low. Counts 3-1, nowhere to put him. A walk yields a run for Bethel Park. It's the bottom of the first inning. Peters stranded the bases loaded in the top of the first. Bethel Park with its own opportunity here with the bases loaded. 3-1 misses off the plate, down too far low. That's ball 4. Mike Bruckner walks with the bases loaded, and so that'll drive in a run for Bethel Park. Bethel Park gets the first run of the game on a walk with the bases loaded, and fun news for Bethel Park, the bases are still loaded. There's still nobody out. And here's Nick Rillo. Rillo batting 5th. He's gone down and then up in the order as the season's gone on. He's been trusted in the middle of the order for Bethel Park as of late. So here he bats 5th in a run-scoring spot. And that one hits him. Jack Stewart hit Nick Rillo. That's the second hit batter of the inning. And this hit by pitch drives in another run for Bethel Park. Bethel Park has had one hit this inning. It was a Ryan Petrus leadoff double. Stanhoff walked. Lejeune got hit. Bruckner walked. Rillo got hit. 2 runs for Bethel Park. Still nobody out. The bases are loaded, and now Peters Township will have a conference amongst the infield and the coach, who's come out of the dugout to have this conversation. Definitely not ideal conditions here at Ross Memorial Park in Washington. It is still raining. It's very consistent rain. It's light, but it's there. Which very well could make the mound and the field slick. It is an entirely turf field. So a lot of slippery conditions here. Overcast skies. It is still bright outside, but clouds just taking over the sky. And it's just under 60 degrees here. So not an ideal game for baseball. Not unplayable, though. And Jack Stewart being trusted to work through this one. It's a 2-0 Bethel Park lead after Nick Rillo got hit with a pitch. And with that, Noah Lejeune comes out of the dugout. He's now on third base. It's Lejeune on third, Mike Bruckner on second, Nick Rillo on first base. And here comes the other Bruckner starter. It's Jack Bruckner. Takas, the first baseman, Oberschulp, the third baseman. They're both playing in front of the bases. Middle infielders are at double play depth. The first pitch misses too high. Ball 1 to Jack Bruckner. 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 hit batters this inning for Jack Stewart on the mound for Peters Township. Ryan Petrus was inches away from a home run, but had to settle for a double. And then the walks and hit batters have yielded Bethel Park 2 runs so far. Inside fastball called a strike on Jack Bruckner. Count even 1 ball, 1 strike. The winner of this game is seeded third in the state tournament for Class 5A. Loser will get 4th seed. Both teams here present will qualify for the PIAA tournament, however. Fouled back to the backstop by Jack Bruckner. Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, bases loaded, bottom of the first. Bethel Park ahead. The kick and the pitch. Breaking ball too far outside. Jack Stewart misses off the plate to Jack Bruckner, evening the count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bethel Park more runs than hits so far this game in this bottom of the first inning. The 2-2 delivery. Fouled back. And I flinched there. I don't care how many times I sit in front of a screen. I always flinch if the ball's coming at me. I don't know if you're the same way. There's some of you are more brave out there than I am. Being unflinching, knowing that there's a screen in front of you. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball out to right center field. Heading toward the wall. It is going to one-hop the wall out in right center. Lejeune scores. Mike Bruckner on his way home. Rillo being held at third base. Bruckner scores standing from second. It's a 2-run double for Jack Bruckner. And it's now 4-0. Bethel Park leads in the bottom of the first inning. Lejeune scored from third. Mike Bruckner scored from second. Nick Rillo advanced from first to third on the play. Jack Bruckner into second with that double. Still nobody out for Bethel Park. Bottom of the first inning. 7th hitter of the inning comes up now. It's Owen White. Slide step. Foul to the backstop. Count snowballs and a strike. These were the 1 and 2 teams in Class 5A Section 2. These two are part of the same section. Bethel Park won the section by 1 game. Their section record was 9 and 3. Peters had an 8 and 4 section record. Outside, off the plate, count is 1 and 1. Jack Stewart's consistently hit the outside part of the plate, but the umpire has not been calling those strikes. 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 hit by pitches this inning. 4 runs for Bethel Park. And another pitch hits a batter. That's 3 hit batters this inning. Jack Stewart hit Owen White. And now a second mound visit's going to happen here. Coach walking firmly and slowly out to the mound. And you don't typically see many ejections here, and obviously Jack Stewart not hitting batters intentionally. It could just be the conditions that have caused him a lack of command. This is his second mound visit now. Peters Township having a meeting on the mound with the entire infield. And Jack Stewart will jog to the dugout, and Peters Township's going to bring in a new pitcher. It's 4-0, Bethel Park leading. Nobody out in the bottom of the first inning. The bases are still loaded. Owen White just got hit with a pitch. Eric Meal awaits to hit as the 8th hitter of the inning for Bethel Park. And the new pitcher for Peters Township is Brady Perosco, excuse me. He's a right-handed pitcher, getting his warm-ups in from the windup. Just throws some curiosities into my mind. Usually a pitcher will warm up in the situation they'll be in. So he's not throwing from the stretch right now, and some pitchers do elect to throw from the windup with the bases loaded. So let's see if that plays a factor at all, or if he eventually decides to throw from the stretch later on after his warm-ups are over. Peters started this inning off with a double. Stanhoff walked. Lejeune got hit with a pitch. Mike Bruckner walked. Nick Rillo got hit by a pitch. Bruckner's walk and Rillo's hit by pitch drove in 2 runs, 1 run each. Jack Bruckner doubled in 2. Owen White just got hit with a pitch. And now Eric Meal awaits. Jack Stewart did not get an out. The rare infinity ERA for the game. Your ERA is determined by how many runs you give up and how many outs you can get, how many innings you go. And if you don't get any outs in an inning, you don't get credit for an inning, so he technically didn't get any innings in for not recording an out. Prosco is ready to pitch. He's back on the mound. Bases loaded, nobody out. For Bethel Park, Eric Meal, the 8th hitter of the inning. Righty-on-righty matchup, and the first pitch is called a strike at the knees of Eric Meal. The count is no balls and 1 strike. No ball, 1 strike count. Rain continues to fall. A sprinkle. Swing and a miss. Chased a high fastball did Eric Meal, and the count is no balls, 2 strikes. 4-0 Bethel Park lead over Peters Township in the bottom of the first inning. Prosco gets his sign, and now comes set at the belt. 0-2 pitch. Outside, Minor. Back pick to first, and it gets past the first baseman, Takis, and rolls into the right field corner. Rillo scores. Jack Bruckner scores. The relay is cut off by Tigard. Oh, my goodness. 2 more runs in for Bethel Park in the bottom of the first inning. Zach Minor tried to back pick to first base where Owen White was getting an aggressive lead. Instead, the ball bounced. Takis couldn't handle it, the first baseman. It got past him. Nick Rillo scored from third. Jack Bruckner scored from second. Owen White made it all the way from first to third. That pitch was a ball to Eric Meal, so it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Meal. Still nobody out, and 6 runs of the 7 completed batters so far have come around to score. Breaking ball, strike 3 over the inside edge. And Eric Meal is set down mercifully for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. And now here's the 9th hitter of the inning for Bethel Park, Joey Levis. He was hot in the first 2 games of the playoffs, was a bit quiet in the loss to Pine Richland. Fly ball, straightaway left field. Under it to make the play is Stoker. Owen White tags and scores from third, sliding. The ball was cut off by Oberschulp, the third baseman. Sacrifice fly for Joey Levis. Run batted in, and that increases the Bethel Park lead. 7-0 is the score. And now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the first. The bases are empty, and Ryan Petrus batting in the same situation he did earlier in the game, just with 2 outs. But he's batting with the bases empty. He doubled earlier this inning against Jack Stewart, now facing a new arm in Brady Perosco. Righty-on-righty matchup, bunt shown, and Ryan Petrus bunts it down the third base line. Perosco comes off the mound to field it and will just secure it, does not throw it, and Ryan Petrus is 2 for 2 this inning after that bunt single. So you don't commonly see that with 2 outs, a bunt. Bethel Park has been a bunt-heavy team this season. Ryan Petrus gets a base hit out of it there. Now here is Ethan Stanhoff batting. 2 outs, runner on first. 7-0 Bethel Park lead. Slide step, bunt shown, pull back. Zach Miner couldn't pick it out of the ground, and Ryan Petrus safe at second with a stolen base. And he's stolen himself into scoring position with 2 outs. An unusual scoreline, 7 runs for Bethel Park on 3 hits. 3 hit batters this inning. 1-0 count. Petrus aggressive leadoff second. Here's the pitch from Perosco. It's high and in. Counts 2 balls, no strikes. Peters had the bases loaded in the top of the first, failed to score. Bethel Park has taken major advantage of several bases loaded situations in this game. Pushing across 7 now. Still 2 outs, and a sharp grounder fouled on the left side of the field, and the count is 2 balls and a strike. Rain falling a bit heavier here and ever so slightly sideways. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Perosco comes set. Here's the pitch. High and in, gets past Miner, and Petrus advances to third on a wild pitch. I mean, these are certainly uncomfortable conditions for a pitcher to throw in. It's just constant slickness, and especially with the turf field. It's not like they can put any extra dry dirt on the mound to try to harden it. I mean, that turf is what it's going to be, and it is indeed slick. Hitters count 3-1 on Ethan Stanhoff. And he throws the bat as he pops it foul to the backstop. Well, certainly not ideal for the hitters either. Ethan Stanhoff so slick outside he couldn't hold on to the bat. A violent throw to the backstop, clearly not intentional. But he did tip it and then threw it. So he retrieves the bat from the backstop, gets back into the box. Now with a full count on him. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on third in the form of Ryan Petrus. The payoff. Low and outside, ball 4, and Ethan Stanhoff 2 times this inning has reached via the base on balls. Putting runners on the corners. Stanhoff will again be relieved by Caden Stokes, the courtesy runner. So Stokes now running for a second time this inning. Lejeune steps up to the plate. He is the 12th hitter of the inning for Bethel Park, batting for his second time. This is now the 3rd hitter to step up to the plate for Bethel Park this bottom of the first inning. Perosco comes set at the belt, kick with the left leg, and he throws a breaking ball in the dirt. Miner blocked it, and Stokes will retreat back to first. Petrus, no break from him at third. 1 ball, no strike count. Lejeune was hit by a pitch earlier this inning. One ball, no strike count, the pitch. Too high, counts 2 balls and no strikes. Winner of this game is going to be seated 3rd in the PIAA Class 5A playoffs. Loser seated 4th. The 5A WPIAL championship to be played at 7 o'clock tonight. 2-0. Bunt shown, pull back. Miner throws to second, and it gets past the shortstop. Stokes successfully steals second, and since the ball got into center field, Ryan Petrus comfortably broke from third, and he scored. That'll go down as an error on the throw for Zach Miner, allowing for Petrus to come around to score, making it an 8-0 Bethel Park lead in the bottom of the first inning. There is a 10-run mercy rule that takes effect, and a 15-run mercy rule that takes effect after 3 innings, 10 after 4. Swing and a miss by Lejeune. He was swinging 3-0. Counts now 3 balls and 1 strike. Combination of Jack Stewart and Brady Perosco have pitched for Peters Township, and 8 runs in on 3 hits for Bethel Park. Runner goes outside, throw to third is almost picked by Oberschelp. He just got his glove on it enough to keep it within the vicinity, not allowing Caden Stokes to score. Stokes successfully steals third. Lejeune walked on that pitch. It was too high. And with that stolen base, runners are put back on the corners. There are 2 outs. Stokes on third. Lejeune on first. Mike Bruckner, he walked in a run in his first time to the plate, and Bruckner is the 13th hitter now of the inning for Bethel Park, batting twice. And he is the 4th Bethel Park hitter to come to the plate this inning. It's the bottom of the first. It's 8-0 Bethel Park leads. There are 2 outs and runners on the corners. Righty on righty matchup. Infield playing back, except for the first baseman holding on Lejeune at first, and that outside pitch called a strike. Counts even 1-1. Tack is the first baseman for Peters, holding on Noah Lejeune, the runner at first, who's coincidentally Bethel Park's first baseman. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball is hit high out to straightaway center. Alspaw running back, tracking it, and he makes the catch. And mercifully, the bottom of the first inning comes to an end. 13 batters came to the plate, 8 runs scored, and Bethel Park has an 8-run lead going into the second inning. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. Appreciate Sharp Insurance Agency and all of our sponsors that have stepped up and helped us take care of some costs that we've needed to. We are a non-for-profit, so we always appreciate the local businesses stepping up and helping us out. Peters Township hitting down 8-0. Bethel Park put up 8 after batting 13 in the bottom of the first. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up for Peters Township this half inning. Ball misses low. 2 straight balls from Matthew Hughes, who had a bit of his own struggles in the top of the first, but did not allow a run to score despite Peters Township loading the bases. So it's Michael Alspaw, Colin Stofik, and Nathan Skrupa, the 3 to hit in the top of the second for Peters. There were 3 hit batters that bottom of the first inning and also a healthy amount of walks. 8 runs on 3 hits. I should say an unhealthy amount of walks. Either way, you get the picture. It's ball 4. Colin Stofik comes to the plate after Michael Alspaw walks to open the top of the second. Rain continues to fall in sprinkle form. Nothing too heavy, and this is a turf field, so no dirt to worry about ruining, though the field undoubtedly is slick and causing the pitchers some distress. Matthew Hughes pitches a high fastball, ball 1. Hughes, the left-handed pitcher, time called by the field umpire and sends it back to the home plate umpire, who puts it back in play. 1 ball, no strike count on the shortstop of Peters Township, Colin Stofik. Short lead off first by Alspaugh. Inside pitch. Misses off the plate. Counts 2 balls and no strikes. Peters got a couple of walks in the top of the first and got 1 hit. James Tigard hit a double. But again, no runs scored in that top of the first. Pitch misses high. Counts 3 balls and no strikes. Matthew Hughes is not immune to the command issues from this weather. And throws a strike over 3-0. Counts 3 balls and 1 strike. I mean, this is going to be a tough game for pitchers. It's going to be a tough game for fielders, especially on ground balls. We haven't seen too many of those yet this game. 3-1. Swing and a miss. I mean, so far on both sides, it has been different sizes of the walk parade. 1 hit for Peters, 3 hits for Bethel Park through 1 full inning. Now Peters batting here. 3-2 pitch to Stofick is hit in the air. Popped up. Ryan Petrus playing it behind second base. Petrus wobbling, makes the catch. Petrus holds on to it. Alspaugh will go back and tag up at first base. And advancing no bases, just staying right there on first. Makes it 1 out in the top of the second. And here's the number 9 hitter. It is Nathan Skrupa, who was designated hitting for Jack Stewart, the starting pitcher. Stewart did not get an out in that bottom of the first inning. He was then replaced by Brady Perosco, who right now is the listed pitcher. That is who Skrupa is the DH for. Right-handed hitter. Sees a pitch and it misses low and in. Ball 1. Yeah, wind's picking up. Rain blowing a bit sideways. Again, still sprinkling. No thunder, no lightning, no storms. Just overcast skies, cold temperatures, and a bit of wind. That one fouled away by Skrupa, right side of the field. Count even 1-1. One count, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Matthew Hughes. Soft liner, foul, right side of the field. And Skrupa falls behind. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. 57 degrees in Washington, and the rain not expected to cease for a while. As a matter of fact, I've seen the later hours of the forecast now. It's supposed to rain for a good majority of the evening and into the night. Runner goes. The pitch is foul tipped into the bit of standoff for the strikeout. Petrus applies the tag on Michael Alspaugh, but Alspaugh is called safe at second base. Skrupa strikes out on a foul tip, making that 2 outs. Alspaugh steals his way into scoring position. He's now on second. And Peters Township now has the top of the order come back up. Here's Zach Miner. 0 for 1, flew out to left field in his first plate appearance. The pitch gets away from Stanhoff. It was in the ground. And Alspaugh will advance to third on what will be classified as a wild pitch. You can almost hear the rain, I'm sure, through the microphone. It's just soft patterns on the turf field. Slippery conditions out there on that turf. 1-0 pitch. High and inside, counts 2 balls and no strikes. I mean, that's a good thing about turf is that, you know, it's not going to soak in water like dirt does. It'll absorb the water a little better. But turf will be slippery with the water on the surface. That one called a strike, counts 2 balls and a strike. Zach Miner, left-handed hitter. Matthew Hughes, left-handed pitcher. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball fouled back. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count now on Zach Miner. 2 outs. Michael Alspaugh, he walked. He's now on third base. And Peters Township is batting down 8-0 against Bethel Park in the WPIAL Class 5A Consolation game. With no severe consequences, the loser will just be seated lower in the state tournament. Shaler and Pine Richland scheduled to play at 7 o'clock at EQT Park, home of the Washington Wild Things. 2-2. Breaking ball right over the outside edge of the plate. Called a strike. Zach Miner set down, and a runner is stranded on third. The inning is over. No runs, no hits, one walk in the inning, and one runner left on base for Peters Township. After an inning and a half, it's Bethel Park 8, Peters Township 0. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency.
Insurance Agency has been protecting families and businesses with reliable insurance solutions for years. Their dedicated team is committed to providing peace of mind and coverage tailored to meet your individual needs. From home and auto to life and commercial insurance, at Sharp Insurance, they're there to protect what matters most, with expertise and care every step of the way. This Bethel Park High School playoff game is presented by Sharp Insurance Agency.
It's a score to be proud of if you're a Bethel Park fan, which you likely are because, this is the home of the Blackhawks baseball team. Broadcast home. If you're on the Peters Township side, I will empathize with you slightly. It's tough, though. These are tough conditions. The rain is falling here at Ross Memorial Park. And it's just very consistent. It's turf field, so there's not likely for a rain delay unless there's any thunder or lightning or other storms that come through. But if the rain stays like this game is going to keep being played. And so we transition to the bottom of the second inning. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. Brady Perosco got all 3 outs in the bottom of the first inning. He relieved Jack Stewart, who did not record an out. Jack Stewart only gave up 1 hit and walked a few batters, hit 3. It was a rough start for him. Just couldn't get comfortable in these conditions on the mound. Perosco gave up a couple hits. I correct myself. Jack Stewart did give up 2 hits. Perosco gave up 1. Perosco coming up to pitch now against the left-handed hitter Nick Rillo, who foul tips it into the mitt of catcher Zach Miner. Counts 0-1. It's Rillo, it's Jack Bruckner, and then it's Owen White. Those are the 3 scheduled to hit in the bottom of the second for Bethel Park. Breaking ball too high. Count even 1-1. Third baseman Obershelp is playing even with the third base bag. Brady Takis at first is playing behind the bag. The rest of the field is playing at standard depth. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball foul down the left side of the field. That makes the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nick Rillo was hit with a pitch, and that got an RBI out of that hit by pitch because it was with bases loaded back in the first inning. 1-2. On the ground to Stofik at shortstop. He plays on 2 hops, throws to first. Out is the call at first base. Pat Zender doing his traditional chirping from third base. Instead, we're still playing baseball to the umpires. Thought from his third base vantage point that Nick Rillo was safe. The umpires called him out, and the umpires have the only decisions that matter. Nick Rillo out. First out in the bottom of the second. Now here's Jack Bruckner, who takes high and in for ball 1. There is a 4-man umpire crew for this game. Usually for the primetime games, you get the 4-man crew. 1-0 pitch. Popped up, right side of the field, and foul. Bruckner had an RBI double that drove in 2 back in the first inning. Just one of the many contributions to that 8-run bottom of the first Bethel Park had. Pitch right over the middle of the plate from Perosco, the the Peters Township pitcher. Counts now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jack Bruckner. It's a righty-on-righty matchup. 1-2. Breaking ball right there. Strike 3. There's a breaking ball right over the knees of Jack Bruckner. He's set down. Back-to-back outs for Peters Township. First 2 hitters. I'll bring up Owen White. Designated hitting, batting 7th in the Bethel Park order. Batting with the bases empty and 2 away. Roscoe high fastball. Misses. Ball 1. Oberschelp, the third baseman, playing even with the bag. Maybe a bit behind it. Takis at standard depth over at first base. 1-0 pitch. And Owen White fouls it off his leg in the box. This goes down as a foul ball. It counts 1-1. These defenses are aware of Bethel Park's strategies. They are very prominent bunters in many situations, and one was already exemplified earlier on. Ryan Petrus got a bunt single with 2 outs. Breaking ball right over the middle. Roscoe looking comfortable in this second inning. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count, 2 outs. Base is empty. From the windup, here's the pitch. Breaking ball, and Owen White chases it for strike 3. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 2 strikeouts for Roscoe in that bottom of the second. And Bethel Park, despite going down 1-2-3, still has an 8-0 lead over Peters Township. Top of the third coming up next. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This broadcast presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. After scoring 8 in the first, Bethel Park was set down 1-2-3 in the second. Now it's the top of the third. 2-3-4 hitters due up for Peters Township this half inning. James Tigard, Jackson Stoker, and Brady Takis. Matthew Hughes pitching now for a third inning with one of the more comfortable leads you can have in a baseball game. His team up 8-0. First pitch hit on the ground. 1 hops to Ryan Petrus at shortstop, who throws to Lejeune at first, and James Tigard on 1 pitch is out. Sharply hit ball, but well played at shortstop by Petrus. One pitch out opens the third, and now here's the left-handed hitting Jackson Stoker, who walked back in the first. First pitch misses in the dirt for a ball. Counts 1 ball and no strikes. I talked about this earlier. Matthew Hughes, not a typical starter, but has the opportunity to eat innings for Bethel Park and protect the rest of the pitchers on the staff as the team rolls over into states. Both these teams will qualify no matter what. It's just a matter of where they're going to be seated, either 3rd or 4th, going into the Class 5A state tournament. Pop up. Left side of the field. Looks like Mike Bruckner has a play. He's going toward the fence and just ran out of room. Down on the third base side of the field and went over the fence. So it goes down as a foul ball. Makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Left-handed pitcher facing the left-handed hitter. Stoker close to the plate and to the very back of the batter's box. From the windup, here's Hughes' pitch. High and in, that's ball 3. Counts 3-1. Bethel Park with the unusual 8 runs on 3 hits. Check swing, but the ball made contact with the bat and went to the backstop foul. Counts run full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. And usually see more hits than runs, but Bethel Park had so many walks and was hit so many times in the first inning. It's a very lopsided run to hit differential. And the ratio. It's ball 4, missed high to Jackson Stoker, who has now walked for a second time in this game. Still 2 outs. Still 1 out, excuse me. 1 out in the top of the third inning. Here comes the right-handed hitting cleanup hitter, Brody Takis. 0 for 1. Hughes delivers. Swing. Big swing on the first pitch, and it's fouled to the right side. Strike 1. No ball, 1 strike count. Hughes comes set at the belt. Lifts that right leg and throws. Down in the dirt for a ball. Might hear me say that it's not technically dirt because it's a turf field, but you get the picture. Counts 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Takis well out in front of that pitch that was outside. Counts 1-2. 8-0 is the score. Top of the third inning. 1 out, 1 on for Peters. Runner goes from first. Swing and a miss. Takis strikes out. No throw from Stanoff behind the plate. Stoker steals second, uncontested. Takis now 0 for 2 after striking out again. David Overshelp comes to the plate now with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs. His team trailing by 8 runs. Overshelp reached in the first inning, was a part of the bases being loaded for Peters, being left loaded in the top of the first inning. And Peters had a golden opportunity to score in the first, did not take advantage. Bethel Park certainly did, scoring 8 runs after batting 13. Peters now has a runner in scoring position here. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball is just a bit off the plate, outside, counts 2 balls. And no strikes on the Peters Township third baseman Oberschelp. Rain continues to fall, slightly sideways here at Ross Memorial Park in Washington. 2-0. Fly ball out to left field. Running back is Meal toward the wall. It is gone. That ball cleared the wall by plenty. Oberschelp gets Peters Township on the board and cuts the lead to 6 now. It's 8-2. There's still 2 outs in the inning, but the bases have been cleared on the 2-run home run by Oberschelp. Now here's Reese Clark, the number 6 hitter in the Peters Township order. Matthew Hughes back from the windup. Will pitch. Strike right over the middle. No ball, 1 strike count. And the ground for a ball. It hit the ground, hit the plate. Count even 1 ball, 1 strike. Matthew Hughes steps with the right, pivots with the left, kicks with the right, and delivers. Swing and a miss, chased low by Reese Clark, and the count's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Peters Township 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error. Bethel Park 8 runs on 3 hits, no errors. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, chased it. Stanoff completes the strikeout with a tag of Reese Clark. He's set down, and the top of the third inning comes to an end. 2 runs in for Peters Township on the Oberschelp home run, but it's still a mountain to climb for Peters Township. Peters is down 8-2 going to the bottom of the second. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency.
Insurance Agency has been protecting families and businesses with reliable insurance solutions for years. Their dedicated team is committed to providing peace of mind and coverage tailored to meet your individual needs. From home and auto to life and commercial insurance, At Sharp Insurance, they're there to protect what matters most, with expertise and care every step of the way. This Bethel Park High School playoff game is presented by Sharp Insurance Agency.
The winner of this game goes on to play in, well, I can't even say that because it feels like this should be one of those games, but it's not. Both teams will qualify for the Class 5A PIA state playoffs, but it's just a matter of whether they'll be seeded. Winner will be seeded third. Loser will be seeded fourth among teams in the WPIAL for Class 5A. These two teams finished close to each other in the standings. Peters was one section game away from tying Bethel Park for the section lead. Bethel Park finished 9-3 in section in Class 5A Section 2. Peters finished 8-4. Peters was the beneficiary of an upset in the first round of the playoffs in Class 5A. Plum lost to Mars. Plum was the 2 seed. Mars was the 15 seed, and Mars ended up winning. And Peters Township beat Mars in the quarterfinals to advance to the semis, where Peters lost to Shaler. Bethel Park beat Franklin Regional Thomas Jefferson in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, so no upsets on that front. Bethel Park the 4 seed in the tournament. Peters was the lowest seed in the semifinals, being the 7 seed. And the only seed that was missing from the top 4 was Plum, the 2 seed. Pine Richland, Shaler, and Bethel Park 1, 3, and 4 made it to the semifinals. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Eric Meal, Joey Levis, Ryan Peters, the 3 to hit in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Peters trailing 8-2 against Bethel Park. Chopped on the ground to third. Oberschelp hops, plays the backhand, throws to first. It's in the ground, but picked out by Takis, the first baseman. Eric Meal is set down for the first out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So the WPIAL Championship in Class 5A will be played between Pine Richland, the 1st seed, and Shaler, the 3 seed. Here's the left-handed hitting Joey Levis. Sacrifice fly his first time around. Showed bunt, pulled back, and the ball missed low. Counts 1-0. Jack Stewart, the starting pitcher for Peters, did not record an out in his start. In the bottom of the 1st inning, Perosco came in, got all 3 outs in the 1st, then set down Bethel Park 1-2-3 in the 2nd. Peters got on the board, scoring 2 runs on the David Oberschelp 2-run home run in the top of the 3rd inning. It's an 8-2 Bethel Park lead. Now in the bottom of the 3rd, Levis showed bunt, pulled back again, and the pitch missed outside for a ball. Levis is ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Oberschelp now playing well in. About 5 feet in front of the 3rd base bag over there. Takis, the first baseman, is playing back. 2-0 pitch. Levis did not show bunt and took a ball high and counts 3 balls and no strikes. From the windup, here is Perosco's 3-0 pitch. Right over the middle, counts 3 balls and 1 strike. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. Bethel Park up 8-2 over Peters Township in this WPIAL Class 5A Consolation 3rd place game. Inside, ball 4. Joey Levis thought about it, but then decided not to. He has no official at-bats this game. He's did a sacrifice fly and now walked. He's on first with 1 out. And here comes Ryan Peters. Peters had 2 hits in the 1st inning. One was a double to lead off the inning. Then he bunted for a single. This is his 3rd at bat in 3 innings. Here's the pitch. Off speed in the dirt, ball 1 to Peters. Peters, Bethel Park starting shortstop and the perennial leadoff hitter in the order. There's only 1 or 2 games this season where he was not the leadoff hitter. 1 ball, no strike count, slide step. Pitch called a strike, throw to second from Minor, and the second baseman Tigard couldn't catch the ball on the bounce. Joey Levis steals second base. Counts even 1 ball, 1 strike on Ryan Peters. The set and the pitch. Right there, strike two from Perosco. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Ryan Petrus. Here comes the pitch. Blocked. Well, got away from Minor. Here goes Joey Levis. He slides headfirst into third base. No throw from Zach Minor. He got a piece of it initially with his equipment, his leg guards, but then the ball got through his legs and started rolling, so Joey Levis decided to take second base. The pitch was called a ball on Ryan Petrus. That makes the count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The infield now comes in, playing run prevention defense. 2-2, here it is. Petrus chases a high pitch, but he flares it into left. That's going to fall for a hit. Petrus running for second base. The ball bobbled in left field by Jackson Stoker. And Petrus advances to second. He's definitely got a single. Maybe a misplay out in the outfield allowed him to get into second base. On the play, Joey Levis scores from third, making it a 9-2 Bethel Park lead now. So it looked like Ryan Petrus got jammed on that pitch. He also chased it high, and it was just a little flare that was too high for Overshow up the field at third base. Got into left field softly. Petrus hustles his way into second. And now Petrus in scoring position again. He's 3 for 3 in the game as that pitch misses outside for a ball. Petrus with 2 doubles and a single. 1 ball, no strike count. Now it's Ethan Stanhoff at the plate. Righty on righty matchup. Here's the pitch coming from Perosco. Fly ball. Straightaway right field. Getting under it is Reese Clark. He makes the catch. Petrus tags, shuffles off second, and then retreats quickly as the ball got thrown in strongly to Overshow at third base. Stanhoff, after being walked twice, out after his first official at bat. There are now 2 outs in the bottom of the third. It's a run-in for Bethel Park. Bethel Park has a 7-run lead. Ryan Petrus in scoring position, and here is Noah Lejeune. Reached base twice with no official at bats to this point. Lejeune batted twice in the first inning and reached base both times. Blocked by Minor after the pitch was in the dirt. Petrus, no advancement, counts 1-0. The rain has lightened up. Still kind of sprinkling, but it's not as heavy as it was just a little bit ago. Sky's still overcast, but bright and gray. The pitch, slide step, and Stanhoff foul, or excuse me, that's Lejeune who fouls it back. Counts even 1 ball and 1 strike. There were 4 Bethel Park hitters that batted twice in the first inning. 13 batters came to the plate, 8 scored. Bethel Park got a run here in this inning to make it a 9-2 game. Runner goes to third. Pitch is low, and Ryan Petrus steals third base without a throw. 2 ball, 1 strike count with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Zach Minor was responsible for allowing some runs to score for Bethel Park in that first inning, electing not to throw the ball too much here, perhaps with wet conditions on the field. But he did try to throw a back pick to first base with the bases loaded, and the ball got past Takis, the first baseman, and allowed 2 runs to score. Lejeune took a ball there, so it's a 3-1 count on him. Here's the pitch. On the ground, sharply hit through the left side of the infield. Noah Lejeune with his first hit of the game. He rounds first and stops there. Ryan Petrus scores from third base, making it a 10-2 lead now for Bethel Park with 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. So the Mercy Rule watch will start to be in effect here. Peters got 2 runs on a David Overshow 2-run home run in the top of the third. Bethel Park just negated that by scoring 2 here in the bottom of the third inning, so it is a 10-2 game. Now here's Mike Bruckner. Slide step. Low for a ball. It's 1 ball, no strike count. Brady Perosco eating innings against Bethel Park here after Jack Stewart could not record an out in the bottom of the first. Frosco now pitching into the third here. That pitch misses outside for a ball. If Frosco can get one more out, he will complete 3 full innings, despite not starting the game. He got all 3 outs in that first inning for Peters Township. Frosco looks in for a sign, now comes set at the belt. Frosco kick and pitch. Inside it hit Mike Bruckner. And he will go down to first. He's walking gingerly there. Bruckner walked back in the first inning. Reaches base for a second time here, that time after being hit by a pitch. That's the 4th time that a Bethel Park player has been hit by a pitch in this game, and now Peters Township is going to have a chat on the mound. And it looks like Frosco just got the ball taken from him, and it looks like they're going to send Frosco to the dugout. His outing is over. And Peters Township will have a new pitcher come into the game. Nick Rillo goes back to the dugout, just have some talks with his teammates and some coaches. Looks like Adam Corrado, who's going to pitch now, the right-hander for Peters Township. Warming up out of the stretch. Bethel Park with 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning, up 10-2 against Peters Township. Ryan Petrus had an RBI single, just a little flare out to left field off his hands. Drove in a runner from third. And then Ryan Petrus, after hitting that double, advanced to third. He stole third and then scored on the Noah Lejeune RBI single, accounting for the 2 runs for Bethel Park this half inning. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This broadcast presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. The 8-run first inning for Bethel Park, the difference in this game to this point. And Bethel Park has not let the foot off the gas in this game, continuing to try to score because there is the mercy rule that could come into effect. Bethel Park can make it a 10-run difference. So there is some incentive for them to keep scoring and perhaps end this game earlier than regulation. It's a 7-inning regulation game. Matthew Hughes has pitched 3 full innings for Bethel Park. So far has given up just 2 runs on the home run by David Overshelp. Bethel Park just trying to use as little effort as possible going into the state tournament, if possible. This game is not for any qualifications. Both teams will make it to states. It's just a matter of whether they'll be seeded. Nick Rillo fouls that pitch back for strike 1. So there's not a whole need for urgency in this game by either team. Bethel Park now being up by so many is going to continue to try to score and, like I said, end this game early if they can get that mercy rule to go into effect. Pitch misses outside to Nick Rillo, counts 1-1. Nick Rillo, the left-handed hitter, facing the right-handed pitcher freshly out of the bullpen, Adam Corrado. Line drive foul, left side, out of play. Counts 1-2 on the Bethel Park second baseman, Nick Rillo. Set by Corrado at the belt. Slide step. Line drive, foul, right side, out of play. It's Noah Lejeune at second base. Mike Bruckner at first. Lejeune singled, drove in a run. Mike Bruckner was just hit with a pitch. We're a little behind in the count. It's 1-2. Runner goes from second and first. Pitch misses inside, and both runners steal. It's a double steal for Bethel Park. Noah Lejeune broke first, and then after the ball got away from Zach Miner, the catcher, Mike Bruckner found the confidence to go to second. Lejeune at third, Mike Bruckner at second. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count after that pitch was called a ball. There are 2 outs in the bottom of the third. 10-2, Bethel Park lead. Corrado sets, big kick and pitch. Low and inside for ball 3. Winner gets third place in states. Loser will be seated fourth in the Class 5A state tournament. And the WPIAL championship for Class 5A going to be played at EQT Park, home of the Washington Wild Things, coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. So we won't know the Class 5A WPIAL champion. Bethel Park lost to Pine Richland last Tuesday. Peters Township lost to Shaler. Peters the lowest seed of the semifinalists, being seeded 7th. 3-2. Fly ball foul. Count still full on Nick Rillo, 3-2. Corrado, he comes set at the belt. Another pitch. High for ball 4, and Nick Rillo walks to load the bases. Brady Perosco could not complete this inning, so he pitched 2 2/3 innings. Could not get the final out, though, to make it 3 complete. Now Corrado trying to preserve this inning. 2 runs are already in. There's a soft liner. Misplayed initially by Tigert, but he recovered well. He tried for the backhand. The ball went in and out of his glove. Then he recovered, slid toward the second base bag, and just did a little flip to the shortstop, Colin Stofick, which forced out Nick Rillo at second base. And that play ended the bottom of the 3rd inning. For Bethel Park, though, 2 runs in. Bethel Park leads 10-2 going into the 4th inning. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This broadcast is presented by sponsor Sharp Insurance Agency, and Bethel Park sends a new pitcher to the mound. It's a right-hander, Dylan Paul. Comes in to pitch in a lopsided Bethel Park leading game. It's 10-2. Peters Township hitting now to begin the top of the 4th inning. Strike caught over the outside edge, counts no balls and a 1 strike. 7, 8, 9 hitters do up for Peters. Michael Ausbaugh, Colin Stofick, and Nathan Skrupa. Strike 2 called there. 2 quick strikes from Dylan Paul. Left-hander Matthew Hughes completed 3 full innings, allowing 2 earned runs. Paul right over the outside edge of the plate. Ausbaugh down looking on 3 straight pitches. 1 out. Top of the 4th. And here comes Colin Stofick, right-handed hitter, shortstop for Peters, is 0 for 1 in the game. Gets to bat with the bases empty, 1 out, and his team down by 8. Breaking ball, down low for ball 1. This is a 7-inning regulation game, but if Bethel Park can get a couple more runs, Bethel Park can inflict the mercy rule and end this game early. Two ball, no strike count on Colin Stofick. Here's the pitch. Strike over the outside edge. Dylan Paul throwing very firm fastballs. 2-1. Strike right there. Counts 2-2. Paul pitching, not going to bat in the lineup. His spot right now is in the lineup as a designated hitter. Owen White. Soft liner to center field. That's going to fall. One hop Jack Bruckner, who's going to trot it in and throw a little flare over to Petrus, the shortstop. Dylan Paul's giving up 1 hit now, faced 2 batters. That was Colin Stofick's first hit of the game. He's now 1 for 2. Dylan Paul's standing on the mound, eagerly awaiting the number 9 hitter, Nathan Skrupa. DH for Peters is 0 for 1. Paul sets at the chest. Delivers a slide step pitch. Swing and a miss. Pickoff attempt. Back safely is Stofick. Skrupa 0 for 1 in the game. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball just a bit off the plate. Count even 1 ball, 1 strike on the designated hitter for Peters Township, Skrupa. DHing for the pitcher spot, right now occupied by Adam Corrado. 1-1. Fouled on the right side. Counts now 1-2. Still a sprinkle of rain, clouds still present. Temperature still relatively chilly, 56 degrees right now in Washington. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch, big kick, and a swing and a miss by Skrupa. So 2 outs after that strikeout. Two outs, top of the 4th. Here's Zach Miner. Goes back to the top of the order for Peters. Miner's 0 for 2. Stofick leading off first, an aggressive lead. The pitch is a breaking ball outside for ball 1. 10-2 is the score in the top of the 4th inning. It's an 8-run lead for Bethel Park. They got 8 runs in the first, 2 in the third. Peters got a throw down to second. It was a stolen base attempt and a steal there for Colin Stofick. So he's stolen himself into second base on that stolen base. 2 ball, no strike count after Zach Miner took that pitch for a ball. David Oberschelp hit a 2-run home run back in the third inning, to give Peters 2 runs. There are only 2 so far scored in this game. It's a hitter's count on Zach Miner. 2 balls, no strikes. Dylan Paul freshly into the game for Bethel Park. Comes set at the letters. Kick with the left leg, and the pitch is hit. Pop up, out toward left center field. Petrus running out from the shortstop position to make the catch. And Petrus secures it. That's the final out of the top of the 4th inning. Peters Township, no runs on a hit, 1 runner left on base. Going to the bottom of the 4th inning, it's Bethel Park 10, Peters Township 2. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube, and this broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. You're listening to Bethel Park High School Baseball on Blackhawk TV on YouTube. This broadcast is presented by our sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency. It is not a great day for baseball, but that's why you have us. If you like your hot chocolate and your inside conditions, you listen to us. You want to know about the game. This game, very inconsequential for both teams. It's just a matter of seeding. It could come into play later on, but it's not going to prevent, this game will not prevent either team from making the Class 5A state playoffs. And it's just going to be a matter of seeding. Whoever's going to get the third seed from WPIAL Class 5A and whoever's going to get the fourth seed. I mean, of course, whoever's the lower seed may have tougher competition in the earlier rounds of the state tournament. So it definitely will play some factor in seeding and where teams are positioned. But in terms of qualifying, both teams are in. This is not a game about qualifying. This is just a game about positioning at this point for the state tournament. Both teams lost in the semifinals last week of the Class 5A WPIAL playoffs. Bethel Park lost to the number 1 seed Pine Richland team, and then Peters lost to the number 3 seeded Shaler. 7-8-9 do it for Bethel Park this half inning. Adam Corrado got the final out of the third and now pitches here to start the bottom of the fourth. First pitch misses for a ball. So the 7-8-9 hitters for Bethel Park: Owen White, Eric Meal, and Joey Levis. One 0 pitch misses for a ball. Count is 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch, here it comes. Ball. 3-0 count. Owen White leading off for Bethel Park. He is the DH of this game for Bethel Park. So 3-ball, no strike count. The pitch. Strike. That one found the zone from Corrado. Counts 3 balls and a strike. It's a righty-on-righty matchup. Owen White, right-handed hitter. Adam Corrado, the right-handed pitcher. Hitters count for White, and he lines it softly out towards center field. Alspaw able to run in and make the catch. And it reached a little farther than I thought he might have had to, but he does make the catch. And that is the first out of the bottom of the fourth. It's the bottom of the fourth inning of a 7-inning regulation game. Now here is Eric Meal. Meal takes a pitch. Too low for a ball. Hit the ground on the left-handed batter's box side. Meal, the right-handed hitter, stands in. Meal's kind of cooled off as the season's gone on. He had a hot regular season, and in the playoffs has gradually gotten a little colder and colder. Takes a strike at the knees there, counts 1-1. Meal is 0 for 1 in this game. 2 previous plate appearances in this one. Not getting a third plate appearance in here. 1-1 pitch. Ball. Counts 2 balls and 1 strike on the Bethel Park left fielder. He's getting a considerable amount of playing time considering Ryan Walsh had a season-ending injury very early in the season. Sharp grounder, Stofic diving on his backhanded side, can't make the play. It gets past him into left field on the ground, and Eric Meal will round first and halt there. He's 1 for 2. That's his first hit of the game. Second time he's reached base. Aaron Hoffbauer is now going to pinch run for Eric Meal. And Coach Pat Zender, the third base coach, talking to the home plate umpire, making it clear that Eric Meal is expected to re-enter the game. Each player upon a substitution can be re-entered 1 time into the game from the starting lineup, so that's what it seems Bethel Park's going to do here. But Hoffbauer pinch running at first base. Strike called on Joey Levis, lower inside corner. Counts no balls and 1 strike. Slide step inside, ball 2. Levis, no official at bats. He hit a sacrifice fly and walked so far in this game. It's a 10-2 Bethel Park lead in the bottom of the fourth. Bethel Park 10 runs on 6 hits, no errors. Peters Township 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error. Corrado comes set after looking toward first. Now a slide step pitch and a fly ball hit foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Joey Levis. There has been different outfielders experimented with for Bethel Park this season since Ryan Walsh was out for the season and continues to be out for the season with injury. Pickoff attempt to first. The throw was to the glove side of Takis, who couldn't get the tag in, and Hoffbauer slid past it as Takis reached back over. 1-2 pitch. Chop foul. Count still 1-2 on Joey Levis. Eric Neal hit a single. Aaron Hoffbauer pinch running for him at first base. Joey Levis, the left-handed hitter, facing the right-handed pitcher, Corrado. Slide step. And another foul ball, this time down the third base side. Count still 1-2. There's one out in the bottom of the fourth. Ball back in play. Corrado looks to first. Now comes set at the belt. Slide step. And a breaking ball softly hit over the head of the shortstop, Stofic. That'll get into left. Stoker throws it in to Stofic. And each runner advances to one base. Aaron Hoffbauer advances to second. Joey Levis is now on first after a single, his first hit of the game, and his first registered at bat. So it's Hoffbauer on second, Levis on first. There's one out. Back to the top of the order now. Here's Ryan Petrus, who is 3 for 3 in the game, getting a fourth plate appearance in here. And right as Corrado came set, a balk was called by the second base umpire, which allows for Hoffbauer to be granted third, and Levis goes to second. Talking about the outfielders, they've used Caden Stokes. They tried Levis, Neal, strike call to Ryan Petrus. Jack Bruckner's been the consistent center fielder, but without Ryan Walsh. That's just who they've been throwing in there, and they eventually settled on Meal in left and Levis in right. Strike two called on Petrus, counts no balls and 2 strikes. It's been consistently Levis in left, or Levis in right, Meal in left, with Aaron Hoffbauer coming in as like a pinch runner and defensive replacement regularly. Lined into center by Ryan Petrus. That's a hit. 1 run's going to score. The ball gets through the cutoff man. Petrus is in no man's land, but nobody's covering first base. Petrus is baiting Peters Township to run over to him. Eventually the second baseman, Tigard, ran over to first base to cover, so Petrus had to go back. On the play, Aaron Hoffbauer scores from third. Joey Levis advances from second to third. Ryan Petrus a perfect 4 for 4 now. He's gotten an at-bat in every inning and has gotten a hit with each of those opportunities. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Bethel Park now up 11-2. 1 run away from taking a 10-run lead. Runner goes. Good jump by Petrus, who gets into second without a throw. So he steals himself into scoring position, uncontested. So now it's Levis on third base, Petrus on second, Ethan Stanhoff batting. Second pitch of the plate appearance is high. One ball, 1 strike count. Here's the pitch. High and in on Stanhoff. 2 balls and 1 strike. And 10 runs is the key for Bethel Park. That is the mercy rule threshold. On the ground, through the infield, gets inside the third base bag and rolls over to the wall. 2-run score for Bethel Park. Stanhoff hustling to second. He rounds the second base bag as the ball's relayed in. It's a 2-run double for Ethan Stanhoff on his first hit of the game. Bethel Park now up 13-2. Time is called. Caden Stokes will come off the bench and courtesy run for Ethan Stanhoff. But on the play, Joey Levis scores from third. Ryan Petrus scores from second. And the score is now 13-2. It's 10 runs after 4.5 or 5 innings. Bethel Park's the home team, so 4.5 would be the threshold there. So Bethel Park just has to maintain 10 or more a 10 or more run lead in the top of the fifth inning, and they will win this game by mercy rule. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Left center field. Stoker runs under it. Stoker makes the catch. Caden Stokes with a very light push off second base, but then goes back to tag. Two outs now after Lejeune flew out. Now here's Mike Bruckner. Bruckner 0 for 1 officially, as Walkden was hit by a pitch in this game. Corrado comes set, delivers in the dirt. Minor with a good block, keeps it in front of him. Counts 1-0. Rain almost non-existent now, still overcast skies at Ross Memorial Park. It's very light, if falling at all. 1-0 pitch. High, ball 2. Caden Stokes not being held on at second base. He's got a very sizable lead out there. Courtesy running for Ethan Stanoff had just doubled. About a 10-foot lead, secondary. Here's the pitch. High for a ball. It counts 3-0. 3-ball, no strike count on the Bethel Park third baseman, Mike Bruckner. Nick Rillo would bat next if Bruckner can reach base. High and in, ball 4. Mike Bruckner has reached for a third time this game. Caden Stokes remains on second. Mike Bruckner now aboard at first base. Here's Nick Rillo. Corrado's pitch. Line drive to left field. That is going to fall. One hop in front of Stoker. They're sending Stokes home. The throw is strong, but a bit offline. Stokes scores from second base and extends the Bethel Park lead. It's now 14-2. Stokes scores from second on the play. Mike Bruckner goes from first to second. Nick Rillo aboard at first with a run batted in, and his first hit of the game. It's now a 12-run lead for Bethel Park. "14 runs on 9 hits, no errors for Bethel Park. 2 runs on 2 hits, 1 error for Peters Township." Here's the pitch to Jack Bruckner, who takes strike 1. Bruckner, hitter number 9 for Bethel Park this inning. Soft liner to left center. That is going to split the gap. Bruckner being waved home. And Mike Bruckner will score from second base. Jack Bruckner with his second hit, his third RBI of the game. It's 2 for 3. Bethel Park up 15-2. And for the second time this game now, Bethel Park has batted around. Owen White 0 for 2 in the game. Getting a second opportunity to bat here this inning. Chopped on the ground and foul. No ball, 1 strike count on Owen White. Bethel Park up by 13. 0-1 pitch. Line drive right field. That is fair down the right field line. 1 run's going to score in Nick Rillo. Jack Bruckner being waved home. The ball just fielded in the corner. And Owen White stops at second base after rounding it. He's got a 2-run double. And now it is 17-2. Bethel Park leads. And Bethel Park doesn't even have to wait for the top half of the inning. On Bethel Park's 10th batter of the inning, 2 runs score to make it a 15-run game, and it is 15 runs after 3. It would be 10 after 4.5 or 5, but no need. Bethel Park wins by mercy. 17-2 is the final score. It's a 15-run win for Bethel Park. My goodness gracious. Well, that one was a clearly lopsided victory for Bethel Park, winning in just 4 innings of baseball Bethel Park 8 in the first, 7 in the fourth. The difference makers in this game, and there's nothing really to break down about this. Bethel Park just had a dominant win. The Peters Township pitching, whether it was the weather, whether it was just a focus or command of the game, just let this one slip away and got pretty heavily beaten by Bethel Park. The one shining highlight for Peters Township was the 2-run home run hit by David Overshell. Those are only 2 runs that were scored in the third inning. Ryan Petrus stand up for Bethel Park, going 4 for 4 in the game. He batted in each of the 4 innings of the game, which is something very rare. Not only is that rare to hit that many times in one inning, but it's also rare to get a hit in each of those innings. And so, I mean, he's the big standout for Bethel Park, but really a group effort by Bethel Park. Dylan Paul only had to pitch 1 inning for Bethel Park in relief. Matthew Hughes pitched 3 innings of 2-run ball, which was, it's just a very substantial, a very manageable amount of runs given up for how many Bethel Park scored in the game. Jack Stewart did not record an out in the first inning. Brady Perosco could not finish 3 full, though he did a pretty respectable job out of the bullpen. Adam Corredo was on the mound for Peters Township, and he gave up the winning runs for Bethel Park in that bottom of the 4th inning. Then the 7 runs scored, making it a 17-2 Bethel Park win. A 15-run mercy rule in the 4th. That's about it. There's nothing really to analyze about this one. Bethel Park gets the 3 seed in the PIAA Class 5A playoffs from WPIAL Class 5A. Peters Township will get the 4 seed. And we have yet to see who's going to win the WPIAL championship. That game is set for 7 o'clock at EQT Park, home of the Washington Wild Things, and that game is going to be, like I said, played at 7 o'clock. So we don't have a winner on that one yet, but whoever wins that game will be seeded 1 from Class 5A in the WPIAL, and then whoever loses that game will be the number 2 seed going into states. So stay tuned for that one when that one's played, and cover it wherever you can. We will not be going to states. We will not be going to the PIAA Class 5A playoffs. We will not be following Bethel Park that far. So my name is Nicholas Callis. It's been a fun season. It's been a lot more ups than downs. Tough loss in the WPIAL playoffs, but a nice, satisfying win here to give Bethel Park just a little bit better seeding going into the state tournament. I mean, it's been fun all year. It's a great team to cover, and we at BPTV and Blackhawk TV appreciate being able to cover these games for you. Football, boys and girls basketball, and baseball. We love covering the games for you. We need volunteer help too. So when football comes around in the fall, we're going to need some help with that. So if you know a student in the area or that goes to Bethel Park High School, that is a requirement actually. If you know a student that goes to Bethel Park High School that wants to volunteer, you can go down to 104. Just see Mr. K, ask him how you can volunteer, and then you can be a part of our crew. No experience needed. We'll teach you how to announce. We'll teach you how to run cameras, audio boards, any other equipment. And if you're just curious about covering sports, if you love sports, maybe you're not good enough to play, but you want to be a part of the broadcast crew, that is it's an option for you. So just know, if you're a student or you know a student at Bethel Park High School that wants to participate in football, basketball, and baseball productions, just go see Mr. K down in room 104. And if you're somebody maybe in college or just in the Bethel Park area that wants to volunteer, you can call Dave Cable at 412-831-3304 or email him at dcable, that's DCABLE, at BethelParkPA.gov. He is the facility director of BPTV. We can get you on board too. Volunteer for certain games where we don't have enough high schoolers. So if you're in college and are learning about this and you want extra experience, we do take interns, we do take volunteers at BPTV. You can do all kinds of things, but you can certainly help with these sports productions as well if you're interested. We're a volunteer facility, and so we like to give people opportunities that want to show up and help us out. I also want to thank our sponsor for the game, Sharp Insurance Agency. Appreciate Mike Sharp and his team over there helping us, giving us support that we really need to get these games on the air. We really can't get them on the air without the support, because we have fees and bills to pay. So the fact that we have nice businesses out there like Sharp Insurance Agency guiding us through and helping us financially, we really do appreciate them as well. I want to give them a shout out. So this is the farewell from Blackhawk TV until next season. The next sporting event we're going to cover is football. So, but enjoy your summer. Enjoy the summer. Enjoy the time off. Enjoy the hot weather. And we'll see you again in the fall. And for baseball, we'll see you next season. We will not be going to the state tournament. We'll not be covering states. So like I said, the next thing we're going to cover is Bethel Park High School football coming up in August, September, and October. So stay tuned for that. This is Nicholas Callis signing off for the final time this school year. Repeating the final score one more time. Bethel Park 17, Peters Township 2. This has been a presentation of Blackhawk TV on YouTube and our presenting sponsor, Sharp Insurance Agency.